TAP. Even the meditation करेंगे. Hey guys, good morning all of you. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, love.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So guys, yesterday we were discussing about like why do we need a actually BGP, right? So we have many reasons to implement the BGP in your network. So basically what happened, your routing protocols has categorized in the two ways. One is we can say that IGP protocol, and one is I'm not talking the static and dynamic, right? One is EGP, and under the EGP we have a BGP. So in IGP protocols, what happened? We have a EHRP protocol, we have OSPF over there, we have a RIP, we have a IGRP as well as, and we have a ISIS. Quick question to all of you guys: why do we? Why I'm not going to configure the IGP in my network? IGRP, because of the classful. IGRP is a classful routing protocol, right? IGRP is the classful routing protocol, and before the EIGRP protocol, we have introduced the IGRP, right? So we can see that EIGRP is the advanced version of the IGRP protocol, right? So the all the common things about all this protocol, right? The common thing about the IGP protocol, this protocol is only going to be implemented in the company's network. For example, if you have a router number one, router number two, router number three, and if you have an ISP over there, right? So in this case, what happened till this point, right? I'm going to configure the any of the IGP protocol, either OSPF, RAPE, IGRP, ISS, any of them. But between this ISP and edge router of this company, I'm going to use the AGP, because IGP protocol does not have a ability to handle the huge amount of route, right? Because on the internet side, what happened? We have a huge millions of the route, right? IGP is not scalable, right? The algorithm that is running with the IGP protocol, the algorithm that is running with the IGP protocols, that's not so much scalable. Another thing is that IGP is not going to use a TCP protocol. On the ISP side, what happened? ISP is untrusted network, right? It's a public network. On a public network, we need to have a security, right? We need to have a reliability over there. So only the BGP protocol is there in the complete routing protocol that's used the TCP. Okay. And another thing is that in IGP, we don't have a much amount of path manipulation concept, right? We can have either we can use the delay and bandwidth in the HGRP, OSPF, you can go for the cost, RIP, you can go for the hop count, right? But in a BGP, we have a rich amount of attributes. So there are the lots of reasons why do we need to implement the BGP in our network, right? Good. And whatever the ISP connection yesterday we have seen, single multi-home, dual multi-home, single home, dual multi-home, single home, single multi-home, dual home, dual multi-home. Good. Thanks. Now, 1 minute. I'll show you something. Then I'll come to the AGR. Sorry, BGP. Let's make it 3D a little bit. Change symbol. We'll go for the gray one. Okay, router. School right. 3D pictures. So this guy is a 12.1 IP address, guys. Okay. This is 12.1, and I'm going to use the network ID is 12.0/24, and this guy 12.2, right? Okay. And we have this interface 0/0 over there, right? Now, try to understand the logic right now. I'm going to run the any of the routing protocol. Doesn't matter. IGRP, the EIGRP, OSPF, and RIP, any of them. I'm not going to run the BGP right now. Okay. Config terminal router interface 0/0, right? And if you see right now, I'm just going to put this command debug IP routing, and now interface 0/0 IP address 12.1/24, no shutdown. Once I put the no shutdown, what happened? This interface, right? This interface will be added in my routing table, right? This interface will be added in my routing after putting the no shutdown keyword. If you see this command, right? Interface 0/0. I put the IP address 12.1/24. What happened? They will find the network ID, and this network ID will be added in the routing table. And what is the meaning of 0.0.0? It's a directly connected route, and for the directly connected route, what is the metric value over there? 0. And sorry, AD value 0. This is the AD value, and this one is the AD. This portion is the AD, and this portion is going to represent the metric, right? And if you see, my interface also will be added in my routing table, right? Now let's come back to the R2 interface 0/0 interface. IP address will be 12.2/24, and I'm going to use a one loopback over there. Okay, and loopback is a virtual interface. They don't have a MAC address, and it's totally a logical interface. That's why we are not going to put the no shutdown keyword over there. It's totally a logical interface. So if you have a 2.0.0 behind R1, right, and I have advertised this guy in a R2, I have configured this interface, right? Let's configure the router agent. Done. Done. What happened? What happened by putting this command? What is the use of network statement? My question, see, I want to try it. I want to show you something. What is the use of this command over there? That's
You're
it.
trying to enable EIGRP in all of the interfaces, right?
Exactly. The thing is that if I'm going to talk about
Directly
the
connected.
directly connected, बहुत ही गलत कर सकते हैं. Achha, you're saying that all the directly connected network will be addressed. Use of network statement in IGP protocol. First, it enable interface into particular routing protocol, right? Doesn't matter either HGRP or SPO. Then it advertise the route. Third, it join the multicast
Joins
group.
the multicast.
And it put the route in EIGRP terms.
Routing.
Topology. This four things has done by just putting the network statement in IGP. So try to understand. Once I put this network statement over there, if you see debug EIGRP packets, what happened? At every 5 seconds, the router 1 is going to send the hello packet to the R2 from this particular interface, right? And router 2 will send this hello packet from the R1, right? Sorry, to the R1. So if you see, I'm sending the hello. I'm sending the hello from 0/0. I'm pressing on R1 talking, right? And I'm receiving the hello from 12.2 as well as. So what happened? After the exchanging the hello packet, in this hello packet, they will put the neighborship criteria, right? In this hello packet, they will put the neighborship criteria. And based on that neighborship criteria, they will form the neighborship and adjacency, right? This neighborship and adjacency is known as a dynamic neighborship. This is the dynamic neighborship because we are not defining this. We are not saying, hey, I want to form the neighborship with you. I want to form the neighborship with you. We are just putting a network statement. Based on that network statement, what happened? They are exchanging the hello packet. In that hello packet, they are putting the neighborship criteria, and based on that, they are forming the neighborship. And that neighborship is known as a dynamic neighborship, right? So if you see, so IP EIGRP interface, we have interface is enabled in the EIGRP routing protocol. And if you verify show IP interface 0/0, this person 0/0 also has joined the multicast group. At the same time, if you see show IP EIGRP topology, we have information in the topology table as well. So all this thing has done in the IGP protocol of the network statement. Because right now, what happened? This interface will be disabled, right? This interface will disable. Once I enable network statement 0.0.0.0.0.0, all the directly connected route will be advertised, or we can say that all this directly connected interface will be enabled in the EIGRP. So this interface will be enabled in the EIGRP. Now they will send the hello packet from this interface. What they will do over there? They will just reject it, right? Because this interface is not enabled in the EIGRP. What's the meaning of protocol? The meaning of protocol, we need to follow the rules. Like this training, if you want to attend this training, you have to come 8 o'clock, right? That's a rule. So same thing, I need to put the network statement over there. Now, after putting the network statement, what happened? This interface will be enabled, and now they will send the hello packet from this interface. And they will exchange the hello packet. If the criteria will matches, they will form the neighborship and adjacency, right? This is known as a dynamic neighborship. But in BGP, what happened? Have a look. If you capture this link, all this router is going to extend the hello packet, and all this hello packet is multicast, right? Dot 10, right? Source is a unicast and destination is multicast. Now, I'm going to disable the EHRP, no router EHRP number 1 right now, and no router EHRP 1 right now. Okay, done. The neighborship will be down. Now, router, put the question mark, which protocol right now I'm interested. I said that I'm interested in the BGP protocol. After that, I'm putting the statement over there. And now question mark, if you see here asking, hey, what's our autonomous system number over there? See, now if you see over there, I'm going to use the 12.0 iOS version. Do show version include iOS. In the 12.4 version, or we can say the 12.0 version, the router BGP is only going to support the 16-bit of AS number, right? The BGP router is only going to support the 16-bit of AS number. This 16-bit of AS number, according to the 2017, we are almost left with the 195 or near 200 of AS number, according to the 70, right? So what they did, they have also introduced the 32-bit number of AS number as well. That we'll discuss later on, okay? After the class, after the complete some BGP parts, then we'll discuss the 4-bit as well, for 32-bit as well, right? Right now, both have the same concept. The concept is nothing different. They have the same concept, right? And they are backward compatible to each other as well as. But right now, I'm going to use the 12.0 as version. In the 12.0 as version, what happened? We have a 16-bit of AS number. Now, what is AS number? Sorry. AS number is a logical group of router that is maintained by single admin. Here, the term of admin is saying that single company. That's it. That's a logical group of the. Actually, if you just go for the history of AS number, if you just go for the history of AS number, what happened in 1970s? In the 1970s was when the internet was growing, right? When the internet was growing, so what happened? We have a router something like this: router number one, router number two. We have a router number three. We have a router number four. So the network engineer, this is the network engineer over there. This guy saying, hey, I can easily manage this router. Whatever the routers we have, router 1, router 2, router 3, router 4. This network engineering in the 90s, 70s, I'm talking about. In the 90s, 70s, what happened when internet was growing, right? So he said that, hey, I can manage this router. It's not a big deal for me, right? It's not a big deal. I can manage this router because this is just a 4 router. I can manage it. But what happened when the router has increased in the 90s, 90s? Now we have another router. Now we have another router like this. So when internet was growing, this is the we can see the router number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this network is saying, hey, it's very hard to manage all this router. When if you have a small number of something, right? If you have a small number of students, you can manage, right, easily. But when the students will be increased, what happened? You need to make a partition, right? Same thing when the internet was going so fastly, they divide the routers over there. I will make a one logical group for this guy. I will make another logical group for this guy. I will make another logical group for this guy. And to identify this logical group, right? To identify this logical group, we need to put some identifier. To identify this logical group, Guys, can you give me just 1 minute? I need to mail something. Okay, just give me a minute. Now, so what I said, to identify this logical group, we need to put some identifier. And that identifier is known as a ACE. ACE number is a 16-bit. We can define from 1 to 6553. It's a 32-bit as well as that I'm going to discuss later on. Okay. So basically what happened, this logical group, right? I'm not going to use any kind of physical. It's a logical, like a VLAN, right? It's a logical group. I need to put some over there. Okay, this is the ACE number 1. This could be ACE number 2, or this could be ACE number 3. So all this router, R1, R2, R3, R4, all this router has a own identifier. That's the ACE number 1. 5, 6, 7, all this have a own identifier. That's the ACE number 2. And R8, R9, R10, and R11, all this has a own identifier. That's the ACE number 3. So ACE number is nothing. It's just a logical identifier of the group of routers. Clear? Now, so take example, what I'm going to do over there. I'm just assuming that this is my one company, right? Or one more thing, ACE number is abe, kuch bhi. ACE number has a public and private concept as well as. Okay. So that I'm also going to discuss this thing. I'm just going to give you the basic information about what ACE number is doing and why do we need to put this command, right? So I'm going to use this is my one company. Okay. And this is my another company we have. So if you have a two different organization, we need to have a two different autonomous system, right? If you have a two different organization, we need to have a two different autonomous system. Okay? So we can say that this guy is a ACE number 1, and this guy will be ACE number 2, right? So two different ACE number. Now, once I put this command out of BGP number 1, right? Done. Router number 2, BGP number 2, right? So on a router number 2, I define the ACE number 2. On a router number 1, we define the ACE number 1. Done. Now, as we know that BGP is a protocol that works on the port number 179, right? And TCP is a reliable, right? In BGP, whenever you're doing the configuration, whenever, keep this thing in your mind. That's it. I'm telling you, BGP is not hard. You just need to understand BGP works on the TCP. That's it. Do one thing, just make a one note, a small note, and paste in your room or wherever you want. BGP is reliable, and we need to provide the reliability. That's we need a reliability. That's nothing else. I'm telling you, many of the person why they are stuck in the BGP just because they forget that BGP works on the TCP. But BGP is so easy protocol as compared to the OSPF and EIGRP. But only the problem with the BGP is that many terms are new over there. That's it. Okay. So what I'm saying that I said router BGP number 1, right? And as we know that if this two router have a two different ACE number 1 and ACE number 2, right? This guy's a 2L1 and this guy's 2L2, right? I said this guy's a two different ACE number 1 and ACE number 2. And once I put the command router BGP 1, what happened? If I'm going to put the network 12.0, it has to enable the interface, right? According to the EIGRP and OSPF, what they are doing, it is going to enable the interface, right? Same thing. If I'm going to put this command over there, router BGP 1, sorry, it's adbg 2 over there, network, I said 12.0, it has to be enable the statement, right? It has to enable this interface and it has to be exchange the packets over there, right? As we know that BGP works on the TCP, first they will form the three-way handshake, right? Sync plus acknowledge and acknowledge. So after the three-way handshake completed, what they will do over there, they will extend the packets over there, whatever they have a packets of the BGP, and they will form the neighborship. Do you know what happened in the BGP? It's not work because if you see over there, I'll put the command debug IP TCP transaction. Okay, debug IP TCP transaction. Debug IP BGP updates. Debug IP BGP updates. Now, if you see, I said router BGP number 1, I say the network 12.0 on R2 12.0. See, is there any debug is happening over there for the TCP related or any TCP handshake is process over there? I'm just making a difference between the IGP right now. I'm not teaching you the BGP. I'm just making a difference how they are different over there. Any TCP is happening? No. Okay. If you see the debug message over there, my debug is enabled. So do show debugging, right? This is the command to check the debug. BGP update is going on for the IPv4 unicast because by default this command is enabled. What this command is going to do? This command is going to enable the IPv4 unicast, right? Multicast will be disabled, right? By default, multicast is disabled. Do so IP multicast. This command is only going to enable what? IPv4 unicast. I have enabled the TCP as well as, but any debug is happening for the TCP and BGP? No. If you see the command line, do show run section BGP. Nothing is happening because use of network statement in BGP protocol, it only advertise the route. That's it. It's not going to enable interface. And BGP does not have any multicast group. It only advertise the route. That's it. Nothing else. If this point is clear to all of you, you will understand the BGP. BGP is never ever going to enable the interface by putting the network statement. So it means that by putting this command, they will never exchange the any TCP packet, right? They will never exchange. They will never extend the any TCP packet over there, right? So it will never form the neighborship. And if the neighborship will be not formed, whatever the route we have behind the R1, they cannot extend this route to the R2. And whatever the route they have R2, they cannot extend to the R1, right? Because to exchange any information, what is the basic thing? Neighborship. Because if you're not talks to someone, right, and if you want something from that person, you need to first establish the communication. You need to first establish the neighborship. For example, you are moving to the airport. What happened? You saw the newspaper of that person. So what happened? You have to inform that person, hey, my name is Law. He will exchange the own information. My name is X. And then you can ask, hey, can you give me the newspaper? So basic thing is what? We need to form the neighborship. If you don't have a neighborship, you cannot provide the communication. You cannot exchange the updates over there. Same thing, what happened? The basic requirement is that we need to first form the BGP neighborship. And BGP neighborship is not done by the does that. Network statement will not. In EIGRP, if you have seen that by putting the network statement, what happened? They are forming the neighborship, right? Because they are exchanging the hello packet. But in the BGP, this guy is not going to enable any interface by putting the network statement. It will advertise the route. Concept is very simple. I'm coming to the point of the network estimation. We have almost we have a 1.5 hour of minute of the explain of this network estimation. Don't worry. I have almost 1 hour plus of the lecture of this system. Don't worry. It only advertised out, but it's not going to enable the interface. Now the question is that how do I enable the interface? Because first we need to form the neighborship. To exchange the rate, first we need to form the neighborship. So in BGP, to enable the interface, we have a two ways, right? Or we can say that in a simple language, BGP neighborship. You can form the BGP neighborship in the two ways. You can form the BGP neighborship in the two ways. First, we have a static way, and second, we have a dynamic way. This neighborship that we have done on a R1, on a R2, I put the net, I'm going to run 2L1 and 2L2, and this is the interface 0/0 I put the statement router AGRP 1 network 0.0.0 and router AGRP network 0.0. This neighborship is known as a dynamic neighborship. This neighborship is known as a dynamic neighborship. It's not meaning that EIGRP does not support the static neighborship. EIGRP has the ability to form the static neighborship as well. EIGRP has the ability to form the static neighborship as well, because in a EIGRP also have a static neighborship configuration, right? But by default, what we are doing the dynamic neighborship. In EIGRP, in some cases, we are forming the static neighborship. Like if I'm going to take a latest example, I'm not talking about the frame relay concept. That's 90s. Latest example, EIGRP over the top. In this case, we are forming a static neighborship. If you have in a CCI enterprise, I'm teaching this thing EIGRP OTP features, right? In this case, we are forming a static neighborship. OSPF also has a static neighborship. It's not meaning that EIGRP does not use the static. They have ability, but based on the requirement, you have to deploy the things. Because the easy way that you can form the dynamic neighborship in the EIGRP. But in BGP, what happened? We have a two ways. Either we can form a static neighborship or dynamic neighborship. So if you form a static neighborship, what happened? If you form a static neighborship, what happened on a router number one? I need to say that router BGP1, right? If you define the identifier of this router, because in this ACE number, we have a multiple router, right? This is the ACE number one. We have a multiple router number one, router two, router three, and router four. How we can identify the router? To identify the router within the ACE number, to identify the router within the ACE number, to identify the router within the ACE number, we need to put some identifier of the router. That identifier is known as a, and it's a always representation IPv4 address of format, right? What is the election criteria of router ID? Election criteria of router manually configured first.
Highest
Highest
loop
logical
back.
interface
Highest loop back.
and highest physical interface, right? This is the election criteria. Now, done. So what happened? I can define the router ID. If you're not defined, you can define the router ID. I said the BGP router ID. This is a command, same like a EIGRP router ID concept command. Nothing is different. EIGRP route ID you are also defining like this, but in OSPF what happened? You just need to put the route ID. This is the command. So this is the difference between the. This is for the BGP, this was for the EIGRP, and this is for the OSPF. So right now I'm interested in the BGP as the BGP route ID 101, and always make a habit to define the route ID manually. I'm telling you, it helps you in exam, because in an exam as well, what happened? Every router has a one loopback 0 interface, and that router ID is associated with the router name. So even if you're not going to define the router ID manually, it will take the highest loopback, right? But the thing is that the recommendation is always you have to define the manual route ID. Okay, because in exam, many times in exam, what happens? Cisco is just checking your label, right? How precise you are doing the configuration. They are not. See, at the last, you need to ping the traffic. You need to send, provide the communication from one side to the another side. But they need to check the precise configuration, whatever the configuration that you did on the router side, right? So always make a habit to define the route ID manually. Doesn't matter if you're doing the security and the enterprise. Now, after that, what happened? I need to put the neighborship. I want to form the neighborship right now. What happened? I'm present on R1, and I want to form the neighborship to which guy? I want to form the neighborship with the this person, 12 or 2. So I need to say that, hey neighbor, this statement, the first statement, neighbor, I want to form the neighborship with the 12.2. First of all, what this command is going to do? The neighbor statement in BGP, it this define the static neighborship. Second, it enable the interface. So I'll prove each and everything, no worry. And third, whatever the IP address that you are putting in neighbor statement, in my case 192.168.12.2, the router 1 will check the reachability. Do we have a reachability or not? If we have a reachability, R1 will make a neighborship. Otherwise, it won't. So, as I told you that BGP works on the which protocol? TCP is a reliable in the sense of what? Same person should be present in your routing table. Same person. Reliability means what? If I'm saying the Kumar, the Kumar has to make a attendance, right? It's not like that any other person can make a proxy. So I need a reachability of the same person. I put the neighbor 12 or 2 statement. What router 1 is going to do? Router 1 is say, hey, do we have a 12 or 2, or do we have a reachability of the 12 or 2? Two things. Do we have a 12 or 2 in my routing table? Of course, it's my directly connected, right? Second thing, do we have a reachability? Yes. Let's form the neighborship. And it will happen from this side as well. As it's not like that I'm only going to do from the this side one way. It has to be two way, this side and this side as well. As if R2 is going to put the neighbor statement 12.1, R2 is going to do the same thing with this line. It's going to check the reachability. So after that, what I'm going to do, I say that neighbor 12.2, and I need to tell this person, hey, I'm forming the neighborship with the 12.2, right? This AS number is my on R1. This AS number is for this guy is a local AS number, right? For this person, AS number 2 will become the remote ace, right? So what we have to do over there, I need to say that, hey, I'm forming the neighborship 2 or 2. This guy is present in the ace number 2. I'm done. This point is clear to all of you. Let's see what happened after just putting this command on the router. Anyone has a question till this point, you can ask me. Okay. So if you go back to the router number 1, I'm going to right now, I'm just going to disable the router BGP, no router BGP. And one router belongs to the only one AS number. If you see, I put the router BGP number 3. I already have a BGP number 1, right? What this guy is saying that, right? Already we are running with the AS number, right? 1. So we cannot run the multiple AS number. So I need to disable this guy, no router BGP right now 1. I'm just going to make a fresh configuration, no router BGP number 2. Router BGP number 1. I need to define the router ID will be 101.101. And I have to say the neighborship 12 or 2. Remote AS will be 2. So what R1 will do in this case? R1 will say that, hey, do we have a route for this person in my routing table? Yes, I have a route for this person, and this is directly connected from which interface? Can I ping this guy? Do we have reachability of this person? Yes. It means that after putting this command, what happened? The router 1 will send a TCP sync packet. I will explain you each and every single thing. Don't worry about that. Okay. The router 1 will send a sync packet. Wait for some time. Acha, one more thing I forget that about the system. Neighbor statement. So it also enable in the same statement in the BGP I'm talking about right now. Okay. It also reserve or we can see that it also enable TCP port number 179. Now have a look. First, if you see, this has completed reserve port number 179, works on the TCP protocol, right? What they are doing, he's sending this TCP packet, sync packet. Who is sending the TCP sync packet? To whom? And it's a pure unicast packet. So BGP is not going to use the multicast. I mean, you need to find why. Okay, I will tell you the answer in the last of the class. Okay, one end of the class of the BGP, but you need to find why. Okay, now the next point, if you see R1, this is the router 1. Okay, and if you see the MAC address of this person, do show interface 0/0 include BIA. This, okay, come on. Same MAC address is there, C201. This guy, B252, right? Pafka, C202, right? R2, right? Pakka. Next point is type is IPv4. So I need to forward the packet to whom? Layer 3. Layer 3 is packet source to LOT1, distance to LOT2, right? Okay. Protocol is TCP. I will explain what is the TTL of the one over there. It will be different as well. As don't worry about this person right now. TCP 6 protocol number. I need to forward the packet to whom? Layer 4, right? Source port is random. Destination is 179 over there. And which flag I'm going to use over there? Sync. So what happened? Router 1 is continuously sending a TCP sync packet to the router number 2. because I have enabled this particular interface into the BGP. Do we have any BGP update is happening? If you see over there, any BGP packets protocol are there. If you capture this link, do one thing, BGP. Any BGP is there? No. So what happened? Only TCP is there, right? Because BGP works on the TCP. First, it will form the three-way handshake. Once after that BGP will be arrived. That's a make a reliability. Once you have complete the what BGP is saying. BGP is saying that this, take example, this person name is BGP, right? And this person name is TCP. So BGP is saying to the TCP, hey TCP, do one thing. First, you check the reachability between this guy and this guy. Once you have done, TCP, BGP is saying to TCP, hey TCP, do one thing, check the reachability of this person, all this thing. Once you have done, then come back to me. So right now the TCP is going on. So what R1 is doing, R1 is keep sending the sync packet to the R2. What R2 will do in this case? R2 is saying the RST flag. Send the RST, reset the connection. 12.1, he said R2 is saying the RST to the R1, 12.1, by using this port number, random port number, right? From the 12.2, I'm going to use the port number 179. Right? What is the RST flag over there? So if you see the flag over there, RST, source 12.2, right? Source max C202, C202 is the R2, C201 is the R1, C2 12.2 is the R2, destination 12.1. What happened? Reset the connection at the same time, acknowledge bit. This reset connection, this RST flag, according to my knowledge, right? This RST flag, I'm not good with the TCP, right? This RST flag is only seen in the two case. When server, right? Server, this is the server. This server will send a RST flag in only two cases. The first, when the router stop accepting TCP packet or TCP connection, it will send RST flag. Second, when the server getting some attack from the attacker, when the server is getting attacked from the attacker, in that case, what happened? Server has to, you have to shut down the server immediately. In that case, server will also send the RST flag, terminate the connection. So right now the same thing is happening. This guy saying, hey, I'm not enabled with the port number 179. I cannot understand the packet. I cannot understand the packet. So in that case, what happened? I need to enable this interface. As right now, what happened? This interface has enabled, right? So what they will do, this guy is sending the TCP sync packet, right? So this guy is sending the TCP sync packet. What this guy is doing over there? He's sending the RST plus acknowledge, because reliability, right? So what we have to do, we need to enable this interface as well as in the BGP. So what we have to do, I need to put the command router BGP number 2, BGP router ID, neighborship, remote AS will be run, right? Because this AS number 2 is my local AS number and this AS number 1 is my remote AS number. So after putting this command, what happened? The first router 1 will send the sync packet, sync plus acknowledge, and then acknowledge, right? Sync plus acknowledge, and acknowledge. Once this three-way handshake has completed, now BGP is going to exchange the own masses. So whatever they have a message, they will exchange the own packets over there. I'll show you that packet as well as. So now the BGP comes. This is the BGP. This portion is BGP. Clear at this point? Now, see what I'm going to do right now on R2 side. I'm going to say that router BGP2. So if you see, I don't have a neighborship even. If you see go on R1, do show IP BGP summary. I don't have a neighborship. I'll explain each and everything. What is the identifier, local age number, everything I'm going to explain you. Don't worry. But I don't have a neighborship. I need to go on router number 2, router BGP2, neighborship out of form. I'll just select the BGP router ID as well as 12.1. Remote age will be 1. Just wait for some time. BGP is a very slow routing protocol, and in the BGP, what happened? The keep alive message will be exchanged at every 60 seconds, and hold on time will be 180. It's a slow protocol as compared to any of the routing protocol, and it has to be slow, right? It should, because it works on the internet side, right? So I don't want to make so much strain on the bandwidth, right? That's why. So now what happened? If you see, I got a one message with the 12.1. So every single packet in the BGP is a unicast. Every single packet. So now, if you just go to router number 2, I also got the message BGP in my neighborship is up, right? And if you see, the three-way handshake will be completed. Sync, sync plus acknowledge, acknowledge. And then after that, the BGP comes in the picture. After the TCP, three-way handshake, the BGP comes in the picture. I'm not going to explain this message tab right now. Don't worry about that. I will explain each and everything. But after the three-way handshake, the BGP comes in the picture. Clear? Now, so if you verify the things, show IP BGP, the first command show me what I need to see, right? What I want to see, I need to see the configuration, or we can say that verification about the IPv4. And how do I represent the IPv4? By putting the IP keyword, right? For the IPv6, we are putting the IPv6. Now, for which protocol I'm interested? What I'm interested to look up? Neighborship. So I put the command over there. It will give you the huge amount of information, right? This is the one command to gather the information about my neighbor, right? Another command we have, show. I'm interested in the IPv4, interested in the BGP protocol, but now I need to give take a summary information, a brief information about this neighbor. So I can use the summary keyword. So what they are saying you, I have a neighborship. Zero state prefix means what? Everything is good now. If you have any name over there, like any of this name, ideal, active, open send, open confirm, these are the states of the BGP. It means that there's something problem is there. If you have some number over there, and if you have zero, it means that we are working fine over there. I will explain each and everything. I'm not done. I'm just done with the right now 1% of the BGP. Okay, don't worry. Clear? So now if you have a look over there in the BGP neighbors command, what this guy is saying that R1, I'm posing on R1 right now. R1 say, hey, I have a neighborship with the 12.2, right? And 12.2 is going to use which AS number? AS number 2. And this guy is going to represent an external link. In BGP, the BGP itself has a two flavor. BGP itself has a two flavor. One we have a IBGP, and another we have a EBGP. IBGP stand for internal BGP, or we can see that internal link, right? Whereas eBGP is going to represent an external BGP. As the name suggests that it's iBGP, it means that router 1 and router number 2 router 1, router 2, those guys 2 router 1, those guys are 2 router 2, right? And this two person are present in my same AS number. It means that router 1 is also going to use the AS number 1, and router 2 is also going to use the AS number 1. So it means that for router number 1, AS number 1 will be a local AS, and for AS number 1 will be a remote AS as well. As clear? In that case, what happened? Right? I have a two different autonomous system number. This guy has a different autonomous system. This guy's a different autonomous. This is my eBGP connection. AS number 1 and AS number 2. iBGP supports two types of neighborship. iBGP supports two types of neighborship. One is directly connected neighborship, right? One is indirectly connected neighborship. Two types of neighborship we have in the BGP. iBGP. Same thing. We have two types of neighborship in the eBGP. One is directly connected. One is indirectly connected. What's the meaning of directly connected neighborship? Just write on if you know, right? You can write. Question? Questions? हाँ कोई दिक्कत नहीं है बीच में Done. Now, what's the meaning of directly connected neighborship? Simple language. If I'm going to talk 0.0.0 data. See, come on. Directly connected neighborship means what? Both the router are present in same broadcast domain. Simple language. We can say that router number 1, router number 2, very simple, right? We have a router 1, we have a router number 2, and we have a 2 router 1, and we have a 2 router 2. So if you are forming the neighborship between this guy to this guy, if you're forming the neighborship between this guy to this guy, this is known as a directly connected neighborship because both person is present in my same broadcast domain slash 20. Both person is present in my same broadcast domain, right? At the same time, router number 1, router number 2, we have a R1 we have a R2. We have one interface that's a 1.1.1, and we have another interface that's a 2.2.2.2. Right? We have a 12.1 and we have a 12.2. Indirect means what? Indirect neighborship is just going to tell you between two different broadcast. If you are forming the neighborship between this loopback to this loopback, it is known as a indirect neighborship. Same concept will happen for the EBGP and IBGP. Nothing is different. It can be this right now. I'm going to use the logical loopback interface. It can be a physical as well as, for example, R1, R2, and R3. We have a 12.1, we have a 12.2, we have a 23.2, and we have a 23.3. If you are forming a neighborship between this guy to this guy, it's a indirect neighborship, right? And if you are forming the neighborship between this guy and this guy, it's a directly related. अब इंटेलिजेंट तो तुम लोग बहुत हो, सही बता रहा हूँ, मगर पढ़ते नहीं हो तुम. डन. कल क्रिसमस है क्या? हैप्पी क्रिसमस मुझे बोल रहा है. एवरीबॉडी हैप्पी क्रिसमस. सही है. तो क्रिश्चियन है. मुझे लगा तुझे तो सेंटा बनाता भी मैं उठ के. मैं कल सेंटा बन गया हूँ. ठीक है, सब बहना. ठीक है, मैं सबके लिए लेके आऊंगा कुछ ना कुछ. मैं सही में कल मैंने सेंटा ड्रेस कर दिया. मैं सोचा कल जाऊंगा सेंटा. तो चॉकलेट पे मैं तो कुछ और सोच रहा था यार. गरीब लोग है तो गरीब लोग की तरह बात करते हो. अमीर लोग मैं तो आईफोन मिनी देने वाला तुझे. Okay, come to the point. So right now we done with the neighborship between the ace number one and this neighborship is known as a directly ABGP neighborship, right? Directly ABGP neighborship, right? And if you can also verify, if you see, okay, sorry, I will explain this thing later on. Remote router IDs to R1 is forming the neighborship with the 2.2, and that has going to use the remote router ID will be 2.2.2. My keep elapsed time is 60 seconds and my hold on time is 180 seconds, right? Now this is my clear EBGP neighborship, right? Let's do one thing. Let's form the IBGP neighborship. Same is. What will be the command? Router BGP number 1 neighborship. I'll say the 2 remote AH number 2, right? अरे ये तो तुम्हारा हो गया EBGP ना. Router BGP number 1 remote AH number neighborship 2.1 remote AH number will be 1. ये मेरा क्या हो गया? IBGP. ये बता रहा था, सुन लिया करो मेरी बात करे तुम. Router BGP number 2 neighborship 2.1, and I'm going to use remote AH will be 1, and I'm going to use exit router BGP number 2, sorry 1. Any questions till this point? कर ले फॉर्म नेबरशिप. अबे ठीक है 12 सही तो है. This side. Now let's come back to the point. If you see, I say the no router BGP right now, no router BGP 1. Okay. No router BGP 2. Done. Neighborship has down. Close the system, right? Router BGP number 1 neighborship 1. Router BGP number 1 neighborship Sorry. Wait for some time. यार है कुछ इंटर दिखाऊंगा रुक जा देख do show IPBGP neighbor. I've got the neighborship message, right? How do I identify this with the IBGP neighborship? Based on the internal link. Internal means IBGP, external means EBGP. Internal means IBGP, external means EBGP. External means internal means सही है चलो next point. Let's form the now ace number 1 this guy, ace number 2 this guy, right? Now we have a 2.0.0 behind this guy and we have 1.0. We are going to form the indirect navigation, right? So the first command I'm going to use router BGP number 1, right? Then I'm forming the navigation with the which guy? 2.2.2.2.2. That person is which is number 2, right? That's it. Will they form the neighborship? If I'm forming a logical neighborship, why do we need a physical over there? BGP works on the, and what is the use of neighbor statement? To check the reachability of this person 2.2. So do we have a 2.2 in our R1 routing table? It will work from the neighborship, right? Next thing, ignore this point right now. I will come to this point again. Now, so if just take example, if R1 will form, say if this guy is forming the neighborship of this person, so this is my logical interface. R1 will send the packet from this interface 0/0. So if R1 is forming the neighborship is with the 2.2.2.2, the destination will be 2.2.2.2. What will be the source? Or this one. By default, source will be always exit interface. So this was source. Now tell me, is it my neighborship? No. My neighborship is what? I want to form the neighborship between this person to this person. So what we have to do? We need to change the source. Here we are trying to form the neighborship between this guy to this guy. We are not forming the neighborship between this guy to this guy, right? So need to change the source. By default, exit interface is source, right? So I need to change the source. So what we have to do over there? I need to say that neighbor 2.2.2.2 update source. Now the source will be loopback number. Done. Next point. The default TTL value for eBGP is what? So the default TTL value, write down this thing. Default TTL for eBGP is 1. Default TTL for IBGP. Okay, I am not able to see your message. What was the message you put over there? I can't see that. One, okay. Right? Clear at this point. Now tell me one thing. If R1 will send this packet, this eBGP packet from here to this broadcast, from this broadcast domain to this broadcast domain, right? If R1 is sending this packet from this broadcast domain to this broadcast domain, two different broadcast domains are there, right? So it will send the TTL with the which one, right? So once R1 send this packet to the R2 on this particular interface, they will receive this packet. And what they will do in this case, after receiving, they will decrement the one TTL. After receiving, not before receiving. After receiving, they will decrement the one TTL. So once they will receive, so they will make the TTL what 0. Will R2 be able to forward the packet to this broadcast domain? Then we need to increase the TTL. Neighbor BGP multi-hop. Hop means what? TTL, right? Now that's when you go hop count. I need to hop means a router. A router is behave like one TTL, right? I said the 2. That's it. Because we have requirement of 2, so we can put the 2. If you are going to increase the high, you can increase from 1 to 255. That's not our requirement. My requirement is only 2, right? I can make the 2 over there. Now the same command I need to do on which guy? Router BGP number 2. Neighborship I'm gonna form with the A 101 update source. Loopback 1. Neighbor 101 BGP multi-hop, and I'm not going to put anything over there. Let's see what happens. It won't form the navigation. It formed the navigation. Let's see. Right? Right. So now if you see one thing, I already have one logical system between this guy. It doesn't matter if you not keep, you can keep it. Otherwise, you can remove it as well. Done. Router BGP number 1. I want to form the neighborship with the 2. Remote AS will be 2. Neighborship back 1. What error message they are giving? It means that we don't have this loop back. Here's the loop back. Neighborship update source loop back number 1. Done. Neighborship 2.2.2.2. EBGP multi-hop. We can define the maximum hop count 2. Go back to the router number 2. Router BGP 2. Neighborship. Remote AS. Neighborship. Update source. Neighborship. EBGP multi-hop. Don't define anything. Hit the enter. Command will be accepted because we have a carry return. And what they are doing over there? They will convert this guy into the 255. Which configuration is better? This one or this one? They will convert in the 255 by default. Which one is better? First one, right? Because in this case, what happened? You are inviting the attacker. Hey, attacker, you can do the attack in my network. You're opening your gate till 255 hops away, right? That means what? Attacker say, oh, thank you so much. You open the gate for me, I'll come to your network. Right? This point is clear. But still, what happened? They are not forming a neighborship. Reason. TCP reliability. So let's done. I can ping this guy, right? R2. I can ping this guy, R1. Still neighborship is not there. But हो गया? TCP अभी भी neighborship नहीं आया. If you see, do show IP BGP summary. ओहो, reachability तो है ना? तो wait for 60 seconds more. You have to go. It has to be some number, right? Yeah. Wait for some time. Reachability is there, right? Yes. Command is correct. Why the neighborship is not there? Two things I told you that, no? Abbe, port number. I need a reliability, right? Yes. Reliability means what? Reachability at the same time. So if Kumar is present in the classroom, I need to see the Kumar. I can't believe another person. Default route level. We need to have a same person. Hey, I'm forming the neighborship with which guy? 2.2.2.2. I need to have a 2.2.2 in my routing table. Do we have a 2.2.2 in my routing table? No. So if you are using a default dot, still if you have a neighborship, but sorry, still you have a reachability, but neighborship will be not there because default dot is not going to provide the reliability. So what we have to do over there, I need to use this route IP route 2.0.0.0 static route 12.2. Now wait for some time. I have a same person in my routing table. Can you see that? I have a routing table information. I can ping it and it will form the neighborship. Okay. So भाई साहब default dot का तो यूज ही नहीं है यहाँ पे. This point is clear to all of you guys. इंटरेस्टिंग ना. अरे बीजीपी तो ऐसा इंटरेस्टिंग कॉन्सेप्ट है ना, मजा आ जाएगा बीजीपी करने में. This is the reason why the person is running from the BGP. I don't like BGP. This BGP show is interesting. Now, done. We have a neighborship. This neighborship is a external. It's EBGP. Right? Let's form the IBGP. For the IBGP command. Router BGP number 1. Neighborship. Neighborship. और कुछ? Do I need to define the EBGP multi-hop? No, because by default is 255, right? No need to define. Done. Questions anyone? Done. Go back to the R1. No router BGP number 1. No router BGP number 2. Router BGP number 1. Neighborship. 2. Neighborship. Go back 1. We already have reachability, right? So we don't need to define the reachability, right? सही। अच्छा मैंने गलती कर दिया क्या यहाँ पे?
In
It formed the neighborship, right? Because we already have utility. And if you see the TTL value of this guy, IBGP, so if you see the through this packets over there, we have two different TTLs. TTL one, it's a EBGP, it's a IBGP. Nah, internal link, external link. Yeah. This is how you can form a neighborship in BGP, guys. Anyone has a questions, you can ask me. I'm done. From my even you can advertise the if you want to provide the reachability between these two person, you can use the EHRP as well as you can use the OSPF, you can use the BGP as well. It's totally up to you. I have used the static route because a static route does not make any strain on the bandwidth, right? Because it will not extend any kind of hello packets. That's why I used it. मजाक क्या होगा? ट्राई करके देखना, सब कुछ मेरे से पूछ लेगा क्या? कुछ तो कर ले खुद से. अब फिजिकल लिंक डाउन हो गया तो मेरा तो ये तो राउट स्टैटिक राउट तो हट जाएगा ना राउटिंग टेबल से. क्लियर? और पढ़ोगे? हिम्मत है? नहीं है? Straight to answer. So guys, here I am done with the your BGP syllabus. According to your syllabus, I am done with the 5% of the BGP. 95% is more. Tomorrow we have a class. Tell me. Huh? Huh? Christmas. So tell me, you want a class? Hey guys, everyone, you want a class tomorrow? देखते हैं. वोट करो यार क्लास के लिए कल. From next week, switching is start at 8 a.m. Now the class will be in the night, the BGP. 10 o'clock. 10 to 12, 1. Very valuable time. Valuable. Hey guys, tell me tomorrow, do you want to take a class?
no sir.
No. Anyone else? No. Even no. No. So let's make it the tomorrow's make off. Okay. Okay. I'll let you know the class timing of the BGP in the night. Okay. मेरा ये बैच है ना BGP का हर सेशन में ना मेरा रात में ही जाता है BGP. Every session I haven't took the any session in the BGP in the morning. हाँ many times I took the weekend as well as या तो either weekend either night either weekend either night. Yeah, you there or not? the BCP 3 weekend 3 hours of the weekend, right? Also I have that one folder, right?